I've spent the last year and a half of my life writing the stories of the greatest football players we have ever witnessed. And trust me when I say, it's hard to put into words how mind-bending their achievements were. At times 15 minutes isn't enough, sometimes not even close. With Lionel Messi, that's exactly what happened. It's impossible to capture the magnitude of his career in any sort of media. You had to be there. You had to rise up from your couch every time he did the impossible. You had to scream out his name at every perfect from outside the box. You had to be there when it started, right at the very moment where you stared at the highlights of his career and begged the floods for it not to end. Your body faint, maybe keep one last celebration, one more time where you can look at your face who are just as euphoric as you and say, for one time, wow, it's from another world. At that final moment, it's my best. One becomes a footballing god, becomes Lionel Messi. It was the 24th of June 1997 in Rosario, one of the biggest cities in Argentina, and a born. His roots expanded far across the ocean from both sides of his family and ancestors who arrived in Argentina in War II. Italy was left in a state that was getting harder every day, and in Argentina were well in great demand thanks to a shortage of land. So they sailed off, hoping to forget their Italians, though they made up weren't the only one. My grandmother from his father's side came from Europe. As she left it all behind, she could have never known that one day her grandson, the new ruler of Barcelona, growing up in the late era, loving, they were living the grand old days back then. Actually, Messi was born in Maradona's season, a soul to injury in a good. Messi's family had football fan. As long as he was on the other kid's family, he pretty much had to play. And he was always young. Three brothers who all pursued at some point. And they weren't the only ones. Things would become well. His younger cousin, even Bundesliga. At 4, Messi was playing a pitch house, a small club in his training side. Messi was repeatedly a wall when the clubs of Aparicio walked by. You see, they play very soon, and there weren't enough kids. So Messi told him to ask his mom if he could play. At OS play, Messi's mom would say, no, he's no good at all, and anyways he's too thankfully, and she wasted no time. Come on, let him play, do him any harm. This moment in his life, had he been there, he would have not joined him, and had he not worried so much, said the don't worry, I'll play by the he had the art of playing ever through the pitch as if the up there. It seemed unfair better he was. When interviewed about how it was to watch play back then, he said, incredible things he does to set the ball to his knees. We always grow much better than next match. And he had even at school tension during because would up fighting over having played against us behind the show, juggling balls of trick, as you might imagine at a colleague long. It was all the biggest. He was Newell's old, provided the national team any other. Naturally, he was a first they get been there. As Grandoli began playing for New, of course, only made the kid, and next year Messi had joined the club. 86 in his first of the 60, or I guess some youth team would become as La Maquinete. Lionel Messi wasn't enough team, a bunch of other young people really were incredible, and he's fully demolished whatsoever. They would play side and by which had been in 3-0-1 throughout all into football, so his cousin, even his father, Ropes, actually his grandma, and like an amazing person. She played them at the beginning, brought him to his first parents, she even took her a game. Messi does once told the press his cousins sleep over Sally head of else. Well, when Messi's inching him literally one you're gonna football the year of 10, perhaps the Messi's childhood. Celia away, and he has said that all things about her old playing. It is a killer thing about a watch to know every about her. It's the fact that's important was how she sure loved. In his love she would that time Messi he points to the stirring or this that throw off things to process sessions to get them. Messi another Leon endocrine loves out a year and didn't rate a hormone that was stunted growth. Fear of he was persons that he would make one of were part of his recalled over house. Always bring a box and ask to in the middle of and administrate the first found it weird mashing just as skin so one got used possibility traumatic for young Leo that was parents the most. It was the 1000th not be able to cut fur. Duels agreed to an economic and they couldn't get scared. Consequence on Messi's future shocking. Around for this point, Messi tried to play the young boy Pablo Aimar. Leo asked him to join. Permit from Newell. Things used to give it the scarability of losing it with this kind of upset morals who were just but failing for the treat. Still, as long as the machine of Captain Rio himself all the way across South America, the wildly superior frequently told of having no good in a penalty game as if he was that only cartoons. Regardless center of attention, was 500 there. 500. And you know what? One of his coaches at Leo, if I love these cookies from called he proposed that for would give, but at that rate, football prodigy. So actually, a new proposed as the coach said if Messi could, if he scored the Harry dribbled squad keeper got flicked up into the goal back, to there was. As Messi headed to birthday, a man landed in Barcelona. No ordinary man, KACHE won. He played in 20 for Barcelona. Cup Winners' Cup in La Liga stops partnering up in attack of the Johan Cruyff was now well into his scout. As he made his rounds in Brazil, he had to come with seemed so excited considering it. How old, assuming he had be at least 8 to be only 30. How can such a young boy with abilities told the agents to spy through some back in heard about the new might imagine euphoric, especially because a big club like Barcelona could build. Was one problem. Newell's had stopped one transfer, some blood between the family, and since they claimed Newell's barely sent them any promise to provide it. So they went all in, just was sick with you and able to go to training about 3 weeks. Be in Barcelona out for the club. He started going about his everyone he doubted his heart, unsure if Carlos got back trained to watch. He walked 2 minutes to go in awe of what Messi watched to the is set and sign him by you can say. Despite this, Ayer Huppel said the kid young that he for the club and he didn't need it, considering the to Real Madrid and worried in September and moving north between Argentina and Spain, getting their whole stuff playing for to Spain in holding Atletico Madrid. Nothing came of it. They fought and the Nazis life agent met with Carl, yelling that to Argentina did thing moving. Carl asked attendance for paper. He wrote and signed Messi Barcelona's Jackson. Remember, it was his family that he would make it worse. Paper build and officially, finally. Unknown a matter of gay registry before. For a while there was necessary with Barcelona was being the an academy for means. Got arrests. You then Real all on his age and if you let me tell you that eventually sent with dinner talk he close to signing him the same way that, regardless his stay after the play for Barcelona registered so considered minor country and for the solution found was training with on friendlies with the but on a tried that sheltering acting is to let it run free so second game for disaster struck. For the rest of the season, worried that he would get back to his place, but an incredible quickly to the under-16 squad, being by Tito's side some of the since kids was none but would win the world. Fabregas, both or England, maybe Arsenal, wasn't that is Messi very shy, say into him for the game until he had all. Once he got on, the coach asked other players and was scared. They had same story. Thoughts if he picked there, it was them. Goalkeeper of that squad that if he to stop him, pistol, it would probably, but that is there what he needed? The treats while going through his ears the troll on me and Paisa. Looking back that he was but still was unforeseen play Simi Alpha a whole new company with Diego also aggressiveness with slightly adjusted attack and mates not before it Messi was carefully bring down one time slowly paint around it and when he's finally beached on the canvas it's past Mess Braden's started bumping with the time Messi starting in though others to see every weekend who is or twice, regardless Messi year in Barcelona broke a record for what level. No 1-3 year did for the one to the main team and only he got called up then B squad at all no the debut happened to play a friendly port in what would be the open. There weren't enough so they were in to here's story for the fan you know I'm from and done that day in 2003 to catch Barcelona Grail Gliver V players were able to them. Did they know to watch 10 minutes of us would become ever player? The fingers to me didn't bring me along. I've asked them when though yes, I'm considering the possibility of filing abuse. By the way, late Ronaldo Euros Stadium so didn't bring me my good drama. Moving on. Or he started one arguably settled. Federation reinforced they had Messi by the last kept per dream of playing for so to settle the matter up 20 match to lock Argentina and Inter, what couldn't at each iconic national team of the legends, like whole world's Messi's first start. Magic dust out of him. Enjoy the story. Wanna keep watching the cover journey towards his first coming out next Saturday. Maybe came out by the time it's on the or certification files out. It means see you next week. I've spent the last year and a half of my life writing the stories of the greatest football players we have ever witnessed. And trust me when I say, it's hard to put into words how mind-bending their achievements were. At times 15 minutes isn't enough, sometimes not even close. With Lionel Messi, that's exactly what happened. It's impossible